Hello everyone, welcome to another series of today's GK. Let's begin with previous day question. Question was, with reference to joint session of the Indian Parliament, consider the following statements. 1. Article 108 of the Indian Constitution provides for joint session. 2. Constitution of India does not provide for special address by the President. Which of the above statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option A, 1 only. Recently, the President of India has addressed the joint session of Parliament at the beginning of budget session. Article 108 of the Indian Constitution of India provides for joint sitting of both the houses. The joint sitting of the Parliament is called by the President. It is presided over by the Speaker or, in his absence, by the Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha or, in his absence, the Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Article 87 of the Constitution provides 2 instances when the President specially addresses both houses of Parliament. The President of India addresses both the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha at the beginning of the first session after each general election when the reconstituted lower house meets for the first time. The President also addresses both the houses at the beginning of the first session of each year. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. Therefore, option A is correct. Now let's begin today's session. First question is, consider the following statements regarding the Joint Parliamentary Committee or JPC. 1. It is set up by the President for a special purpose. 2. It has members from both houses. Which of the above given statement or statements is or are not correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option A, 1 only. Recently, the opposition demanded JPC probe into the allegations of fraud and stock manipulation against the Adani Group. A JPC is set up by the Parliament for a special purpose, like the detailed scrutiny of a subject or bill. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. It has members from both the houses and from both the ruling parties and the opposition. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Therefore, option A is correct. It is dissolved after its term ends or its task has been completed. A JPC is set up after one House of Parliament has passed a motion and the other has agreed to it. Members of the JPC are decided by the Parliament. The number of members can vary. There is no fixed number. The mandate of a JPC depends on the motion constituting it. While the recommendations of a JPC have persuasive value, they are not binding on the government. Next question is, in the context of government policies and interventions, the Amrit Dharohar is related to defense capabilities, environment and ecology, rural development, or space exploration. The correct answer is option B, environment and ecology. Finance Minister's budget speech introduced schemes and policies aimed at ecological conservation. Amrit Dharohar is a scheme that will be implemented over the next 3 years to encourage optimal use of wetlands and enhance biodiversity, carbon stock, ecotourism opportunities, and income generation for local communities. It will emphasize on the importance of wetlands and their preservation with an outlook that is inclusive of local communities as caretakers of the ecosystem. Hence, option B is correct. The total number of Ramsar sites in our country has increased to 75. As many as 49 new sites have been added to the list since 2019, with 19 being added in 2022. Ramsar sites are wetlands of international importance that have been designated under the criteria of the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands in 1971. They are designated so for containing representative rare or unique wetland types or for their importance in conserving biological diversity. Next question is, with reference to international relations, the Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies or ICET is associated with which of the following countries? India and Canada, India and France, India and USA, or India and Italy? The correct answer is option C, India and USA. Recently, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval met his American counterpart Jake Sullivan to launch the US-India Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies, that is ICET. Hence, option C is correct. ICET was unveiled by the US President and Prime Minister of India during the 2022 Quad Leaders Summit in Tokyo. The ICET project will be spearheaded by the National Security Council of the United States and the National Security Council Secretariat in India. It will elevate and expand the strategic technology partnership and defense industrial cooperation between the governments, businesses, and academic institutions of the two countries. It seeks to build supply chains that increase co-production and co-development between the countries and increase linkages between the countries' startup ecosystems. Next question is, what is the Paris Club? A group of mostly Western creditor countries, a group that is promoting organic farming, a group that is creating green belt in Africa, or a group of European borrower countries? The correct answer is option A, a group of mostly Western creditor countries. The Paris Club will provide financial assurances to the International Monetary Fund on Sri Lanka's debt. The Paris Club is a group of mostly Western creditor countries that grew from a 1956 meeting in which Argentina agreed to meet its public creditors in Paris. Their objective is to find sustainable debt relief solutions for countries that are unable to repay their bilateral loans. It describes itself as a forum where official creditors meet to solve payment difficulties faced by debtor countries. All 22 are members of the group called Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, that is OECD. Hence, option A is correct. It operates on the principles of consensus and solidarity. Any agreement reached with the debtor country will apply equally to all its Paris Club creditors. Next question is, in the context of nation building, Operation Sadbhavana is launched by the Indian Army for Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar, Puducherry or Ladakh. The correct answer is option D, Ladakh. As part of Operation Sadbhavana, the Indian Army is undertaking multiple welfare activities such as running Army Goodwill Schools, infrastructure development projects, and education tours, etc. for the children living in remote areas of the Union Territory of Ladakh. To improve the standard of education and to provide them with quality education, Indian Army is presently running 7 Army Goodwill Schools under Operation Sadbhavana in Ladakh. More than 2,200 students are currently studying in these schools. Hence, option D is correct. In addition, a total of rupees 8.82 crore of Operation Sadbhavana funds have been allotted for the Union Territory of Ladakh during the current financial year 2022-23. The funds are being utilized for various activities like human resource or skill development, sports, healthcare, national integration, infrastructure development, ecology, environment, and education. Next question is, consider the following statements. 1. Zambia is not a landlocked country. 2. Zambezi River flows into the Atlantic Ocean. Which of the above given statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option D, neither 1 nor 2. That is, both the statements are incorrect. Recently, a parliamentary delegation from Zambia called on the President of India at Rashtrapati Bhavan. The President of India said that India and Zambia enjoy strong and cordial relations. Zambia is a landlocked country in South Central Africa. It is situated on a high plateau and takes its name from the Zambezi River, which drains all but a small northern part of the country. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. Zambezi River is a river draining a large portion of the South Central Africa. The Zambezi means great river in the language of the Tonga people. Together with its tributaries, it forms the 4th largest river basin of the continent. The river flows eastward for about 3,540 kilometers from its source on the Central African Plateau to empty into the Indian Ocean. The river either crosses or forms the boundaries of 6 countries, that is Angola, Zambia, Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. Therefore, option D is correct. Next question is, the Agriculture and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority or APIDA is associated with which of the following ministries of the Government of India? Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, or Ministry of Food Processing Industries? The correct answer is option B, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Recently, APIDA has organized a virtual buyer-seller meet to harness export opportunities in United Arab Emirates or UAE. APIDA, which works under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, is working in tandem with different stakeholders to promote the consumption of millets worldwide. It was established by the Government of India under the Agricultural and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority Act. It was passed by the Parliament in December 1985. APIDA has marked its presence in almost all agro-potential states of India and has been providing services to agri-export community through its head office. Hence, option B is correct. APIDA is mandated with the responsibility of export promotion and development of the following scheduled products: fruits, vegetables and their products, meat and meat products, poultry and poultry products, dairy products, confectionery, biscuits and bakery products, etc. Next question is, recently the term common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities, that is CBDR-RC, was in the news. It is related to United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, Convention on Biological Diversity, the Ramsar Convention, or the Stockholm Convention on Persistent Organic Pollutants. The correct answer is option A, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Recently, the Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change has given information regarding common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities, that is CBDR-RC, in Rajya Sabha. He informed that India at COP27 highlighted the foundational principles of equity and CBDR-RC. At the 1992 United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, that is UNCED, in Rio de Janeiro, the CBDR-RC was officially enshrined in the UNFCCC Treaty on Climate Change. Article 3, Paragraph 1 of the UNFCCC states the parties should protect the climate system for the benefit of present and future generations of humankind. It is on the basis of equity and in accordance with their common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities. Accordingly, the developed country parties should take the lead in combating climate change and the adverse effects thereof. The CBDR-RC principle also applies to certain areas such as adaptation, technology transfer, finance, and capacity building. Thus, by applying the CBDR-RC principle, parties can meet their UNFCCC obligations. Hence, option A is correct. Next question is, with reference to Nai Manzil, consider the following statements. 1. It is a central sector scheme of the Government of India. 2. This is the first World Bank supported program for minority welfare. Which of the above given statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2? The correct answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Recently, the Minister of Minority Affairs has talked about the new Manzil scheme in the Lok Sabha. Nai Manzil is a central sector scheme of the Government of India. Hence, statement 1 is correct. It was launched on 8th August 2015 at Patna, Bihar. The scheme aims to benefit the minority youths who do not have a formal school leaving certificate, that is, those in the category of school dropouts. It is in order to provide them formal education and skills and enable them to seek better employment and livelihoods in the organized sector. The scheme has been approved with the cost of Rs 650 crore for 5 years with 50% funding from the World Bank. This is the first World Bank supported program for minority welfare in this ministry. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Therefore, option C is correct. Last question is, Red Sanders is listed under which schedules of the Wildlife Protection Act? Schedule 1, 2, 3 or 4? The correct answer is option D, Schedule 4. Recently, the CITES trade database has recorded 28 incidents of red sanders confiscation, seizure, and specimen from the wild being exported from India. It was revealed by the fact sheet prepared by Traffic, a global wildlife trade monitoring organization. Red sanders or red sandalwood is an endemic tree species with distribution restricted to the eastern Ghats of India. The species found in Andhra Pradesh and growing up to a height of 10 to 15 meters. Under the foreign trade policy of India, the import of red sanders is prohibited while export is restricted. It is listed under Schedule 4 of the Wildlife Protection Act and endangered as per IUCN Red List. It is a very slow-growing tree species that attains maturity in natural forest after 25 to 40 years. Hence, option D is correct. Now it's time for the practice question. Ideals of liberty, equality and fraternity in the preamble of the Indian Constitution have been brought from which of the following? Canadian Constitution, British Constitution, French Constitution or Australian Constitution? Send the answer of this question in the comment section. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.